I may sound like a broken record when I talk about this, but if you didn't know, I finally completed the Web Developer Practical Portfolio, and I'm just super excited because I put a lot of hours into this. And what I really want you to get out of this, if you do decide to buy the course, is to have your portfolio ready to go on a professional domain, let people know who you are, and be able to showcase your projects. Because at the end of the day, for a lot of new and aspiring developers trying to land their first tech job, what's really important is showing the Carfax. What I mean by showing the Carfax is having a one-stop shop where you can showcase your skills, prove that you are a software developer, and give some kind of confidence to the hiring managers, the recruiters, all of those people that have the eyeballs on your portfolio, your profile. Everything matters when trying to get that first job. I want to say this again also, is that I am not a course creator. You won't see me building courses on Dino or Svelte or any of the newer frameworks, because ultimately what I care about with this channel is to help you find a job. So if you are in a position where you are starting to learn how to code, or you've learned some basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you don't really have a real good project yet, I highly encourage you to really consider something like this, because you want to have some type of document, or in this case, a portfolio, to say that, hey, my name is this, I am a web developer, and these are the projects that I am working with. The portfolio is step one of many for you to get that foot in the door. So in this video, what I really want to show you is a video lesson that I do in the course itself. This one will be a little bit hard to follow along, in a sense that you don't have the code base with you, but what I really want to show you is my teaching style. And if you feel like you resonate with this, then I think that this course will really help you in the long run. What I want you to get out of my channel is to feel like you level up each and every time you watch my content. It's not about always just sharing my story as a software developer, but ultimately what I want to prioritize with every one of you watching is that, are we able to get tangible, actionable items when we watch content from Tech Rally? So I hope that you can watch through this whole lesson of me going over a contact section as part of my portfolio course, because this is something that as a developer you're gonna have to do. So I hope you enjoyed the video, really absorb the knowledge, and just let me know if this is something that you'd be interested in. Without further ado, let's just get into this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys. In this supplemental lesson, I want to provide you an alternative to how the contact form looks like. If you notice from before, when we downloaded the template, we had something like a normal form where a user can submit their first name and last name, as well as their email and a little bit of a description. And I decided to just kind of opt in for this simple design. But if you are a big fan of just using a simple form instead of just how this looks instead, then we can kind of go over that in this lesson. So just to give you an example of what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be doing is building something like this. So this is the exact template that was given to us from our very first lesson. And if you don't know where that is, I could just paste the code snippet for this specific section in this lesson. But ideally what we're going to do is we're going to say Alexander Lee for the first name, put in our email address here, and then put in a subject. Hey, we would like to hire you. And then just add in some last minute like, hey. And then just do the CAPTCHA, I'm not a robot, and then we could send a message. It says your form has been received. And then we could go back to our site, and then everything is good to go. So we are going to transition from this to this. And if you are watching this video and you actually didn't do it this way, then there may be a little bit of code deletion that I'll be doing that doesn't really apply to you. So take parts of this lesson that apply to you and forget about the other stuff that may not be as relevant. I'm going to assume that we are part of the supplemental section and assume that we completely built out this whole project here. So I'm going to go into my terminal. And in my terminal, I'm going to do a new branch. Git branch-b form contact. Sorry, it's git checkout-b form contact. Once we do that, I'm going to go into my code base. So do code dot. I'm going to identify the contact section here in the index.html. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna delete this and then paste in the contact form here. Just like I told you before, I'll provide you with the code snippet if you don't remember where it is exactly. But if you're watching it from the beginning, then obviously this code will already exist for you. After we do that, let's go back to our browser and refresh. If I open index.html, we're gonna have my portfolio, index.html, and now we have the form. So this is exactly what we wanna see. And right now the spacing is a little bit of an issue because of the previous styles that we implemented. So let's just get that quickly fixed. In the code base itself, we're gonna go into our style.css. And if you were following along with me when we were creating the simple contact, we don't actually need these two anymore. And what we can do is we can uncomment this one and save it. And I'm gonna refresh. Cool, we have the nice output right here. Obviously you want to change these settings back to your location, your email, and your cell phone number. And right now nothing is going to work because we haven't set it up our contact form to actually send out an email. So how do we actually send out an email using our contact form? And luckily for us, since we're using Netlify, we could leverage some of the utilities provided by the service. And it's really cool that they do something like this. So in here, you'll see in form setups, we can create a form using Netlify and use it to actually send emails. Traditionally, we would have to create like a PHP server and kind of set all of that up to get this form working. And that's kind of the reason why I omitted the contact form originally. But after discovering this on Netlify, I feel like this could be a very simple and easy solution for you to submit a contact email and get more immediate feedback from people that want to contact you. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna just add a method equal post and also apply this data-netlify true. What we're also gonna be doing is we're going to be adding a reCAPTCHA. So reCAPTCHA is similar to what I was doing before in my original website here, Alexander Lee, where the user has to actually, it's the Alexander Lee preview website. So I think that will be available here, where the user has to kind of click this button and validate themselves. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to allow the user to submit a contact form as well as add a reCAPTCHA. I'll let you know right off the bat that this is more of a Netlify feature, so this won't actually exist in the local version, but once you deploy it to Netlify, everything should be good to go. So let's see how that works. The first thing that we're going to do, just like the documentation says, is change this to post. And we're going to add another attribute called data-netlify equals true. So that will give us the ability to submit the form. And the last thing we're going to do by going to the documentation here is let's add a data-netlify reCAPTCHA equals true on the form as well. And then let's also copy this code here where we can just add a reCAPTCHA at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll down here and find the send message here, or this text area. And I'm going to create a div right under it. I'll give it a class of form control or form group, I guess. Doesn't really matter. And then I'll just give it maybe an MT of 3 as well. And let's save that and let's look at our form locally. Refresh it. And like I said before, there's going to be no reCAPTCHA until we deploy it. And for the sake of just this lesson, since I want to keep it consistent here, let's see what I put under alexanderjlee.net. Here, I gave my location, email, and call. So let's just change this back to what the original is supposed to be here. So under location, I'm going to change this to this. And then email, I can say info@techrally.co. And lastly here, I don't want to provide my phone number, so I'm just going to do this. And let's refresh. Cool. So now we have a really, really nice form. and we can submit this form, but the only way we could truly test it is to deploy it on Netlify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push up this branch and then do a pull request and compare the output. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get status, and then I'm going to do get dash add p to see what changes I made. I'm going to commit, add contact form submission. I'm going to push this up. And then we're going to go into our GitHub account. So what we're going to do in our GitHub account is go into our project, which is my portfolio course. I'm going to compare and pull request, add contact form submission, look at the changes I made, save it with the create pull request, and I'm going to wait for the preview to show up. Awesome. And cool. So let's look at the details of this preview. Scroll all the way down and let's just test it out. Alexander Lee and info@techvalley.co, and just say, hey, this is Alex. We are interested in you. And then do this, do a I'm not a robot, and then send the message. And then it says, thank you for your form submission. It has been received. So where does this form actually submit to, right? Does it go directly to our email? But we never set up our email account. And that's why you have to kind of set that up in your Netlify account settings. So here, I'm going to refresh. And you're gonna see, hey, this is Alex, we are interested in you. Obviously, I have another form here, but what we're going to do is click on recent form submissions and go to active form. Actually, let's go back. Let's do settings and usage. And I've already added this here, but what you need to do is you need to add a notification and click email notification. And here, do email to notify. So you have to put in your email here, which is what I did. And then I just said form 1 because that's our only form, and then save it. And obviously, since I already have one, I'm just gonna delete this one. And basically that's it. That is all you have to do. Once you tested it and you see that it works, go back to your GitHub profile, which is located here. And then you could merge the pull request, and now you'll have a true contact form. So I'll leave it up to you as the developer. Do you want a portfolio that has a simple just UI with buttons, or do you want something with the contact form? I'm giving you two different options here, so definitely I'll leave the power to you and let you decide what is more preferable. Either way, I hope that this gives you more options, more selectivity, and more just creativity to do whatever you feel like it. The last thing I wanted to show you is to actually confirm that the email did go through from my portfolio to my email. And if you remember, I said, hey, this is Alex, we are interested in you. You could see the subject, you could see the message, so we know for sure that it's working. Now that everything is working, this is going to be a super helpful way for you to get emails from people that view your portfolio. With that being said, this is the end of our lesson of building our contact form within our portfolio. Bye.